Is this retro good or is it a total fail? Is it a yachting watch or is it a bit of a pedalo watch? You'll soon find out. And what's got to be unheard of for this channel is me actually getting straight to the point or getting straight stuck in. It's been less than 30 seconds-ish, and I'm already talking about the stats and specs. Welcome to a new me. Welcome to the channel, getting on with it. Or have I waffled on for too long? Let's get on with it. Now, I'm not going to try and memorize the model number of this watch because it's just a load of numbers and I wish I'd just give them names, for God's sake. But it's a long code. That's it. It's the Citizen NJ0100-71L. That's obviously not what it's called. Specification is as follows. So here we go. We've got the gang in. Oh God. Gipas was my first assistant. We got 142 grams with 3 links taken out. Here they are, 1, 2 and 3. They do vary in size. That one's a bit smaller than the other two. So you can actually get a really good fit with this because the bracelet, as you can see here, has different sizes. So a smaller link and then bigger ones. Then you've got 3 micro adjusts. I got this to fit me absolutely perfectly. And this is what it's like on a 7-inch wrist. Very nice. What else adds to the comfort and it sort of looking good, even though it's quite a big 42mm case size? Exaggerated, I suppose, by this barrel design, the tonneau design. The fact that the lug to lug is actually nice and short. That is only 46, and that's quite stubby for a watch that's got a 42 case. So that's why these kind of case designs wear really well. So don't be too bothered about the dimensions that you get for case widths and things like that. So it's got a lovely big dial. It's a 32mm dial, so it's very much dominating factor. Especially as it's got that gorgeous blue dial with, oh, I love a blue dial, the Teaked effect. And that's what Teaked effect is. You can get them running horizontally or vertically, different watches. We've got the vertical stripes, which is just a nice effect. And there's no lume anywhere on here because this is kind of a bright sunny day kind of watch, and outdoors on the deck kind of piece. You're not going to need lume and things like that so much. Quite a simple, kind of dressier kind of sports watch, if you will, because it's still got 100 meters water resist. So you've got push-pull crown with date adjust, and the movement in this is an 8210. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But a lovely big crown, really nice hand winding feel actually. Even though this is quite a dinosaur movement, it's still got a really nice smooth hand winding action. It's just the right resistance and it winds really easily. And a really big 7mm crown, which is really nice. I do like a bigger crown. It's easy to get a purchase on. And it's interesting that it's got 100 meters water resist. So that's quite cool. So if you do fall off your boat and get it wet, you should be okay. Height is a really good, it's 11.7, which is perfect proportion to this case shape. So I think it's good. And there's a nice little bit of a taper down on the design. That's what I like about these tonneau cases. They're actually really comfortable piece to wear. If you've never tried a tonneau case watch on with this bit of curving going on, Vostok's you can get them still. There's lots of many vintage reissue watches you can get. And they look great, I think. What do you guys think? I think it's gorgeous. So you've pretty much got the dimensions, and the bracelet I've got to mention here has just got hollow end links, but they fit perfectly. There's no play in them. Female end links, which helps for that lovely, doesn't affect the lug to lug length. So sometimes you can get the male end links and that makes it jut out more. But these, they conform in. As you can see under here, hollow end links, like I said earlier, they fit great. The taper is only 2 mils, 22 down to 20 at the clasp. Lovely double pushers, polished but pressed clasp. It's a decent finish, but like I say, it's cheap but doesn't feel cheap. It's really weird. It's well made. What you'd expect from a brand like Citizen, Japanese company, about £150. I'll stick the link for where I bought this from in the description. You can get these a bit less. I could have paid about 140, but I would have to have waited longer. So I wanted to get it before I went on a little mini break so I could take it with me and take some photos and that. Main criticism I'd say of this bracelet is it sounds really cheap, and you do get these awful, they're the folded jobs, they're not solid links. And that adds to the whole chintzy rattlingness you get with them. There's no hair pulling, it's very comfortable. And the movement, the 8210 in this, is, I've said before, it's an ancient movement. It's from the 70s. It's been sort of tweaked and upgraded. There's different code names. Depends if it's got a day and a date, or if it's just, they do one with the small seconds hand rather than this is the central seconds hand. So they're all the same movement pretty much, just a few little tweaks to it to make it function slightly differently. Good power reserve, 45 hours. It's got 21 joules and it's got reliable, rugged history. Timekeeping on this one wasn't great, so I had to regulate it. And this is how I regulated it. Firstly, got my time grapher ready, but I need to just pop the bracelet so I can easily get to the case back. Case back removal tool to remove. Once loosened off, just unscrew it by hand, get the last bit off. Here it is. This is the movement. It actually says Citizen on it. It doesn't just say Myota. So it is a Citizen movement. And the way you regulate it effectively is I put this on the time grapher. It was running at plus 25. So I thought I'd need to slow it down a little bit. I'll just shut this ticking up. I've got a stick. This is your bit of wood. It's the best thing to use. See the only downside, you've got this blooming rotor in the way. Man, that is your regulator arm right there. So what you have to do is ever so carefully is, whilst you're gently, literally just gently nudging, ever so gently nudging it in the correct direction. So as you're doing it, you're checking your time. As you can see, mine's saying 0 seconds a day. I got it better than I thought. You see there's a plus and a minus. See, there's the plus, there's the minus. There's a little tiny, just about see it, an arrow. Because it was running way too fast, plus 25, I crept it obviously down into the minus point. Gently tickled it. It giggled as I did it. Kept watching the time. I just kept doing tiny, gentle pushes, gentle little tickle, and that's it. So I think that's about it with the stats and the specs. What's next? So now you know the stats and specs. Let's move on a bit more detail with a few things which I think will be relevant for you to know, and I think are really interesting. So stick with me. The model number, which is very unusual, NJ0100-71L. What a beautiful name, just rolls off the tongue. Now, this case shape, very retro. What do I mean by retro? From the 60s and 70s, it's a tonneau, which is French for barrel. It's close to a cushion case, but cushion cases are a bit more squished. That's where tonneau/barrel comes from. Different variations of this kind of case shape. But it's very popular with dive and chronograph watches from the 60s and 70s. So Citizen even did a watch like this themselves in the 70s. So this is kind of a reissue from Citizen. So that's kind of the interesting part of why I know this is a retro watch. But what is cool about this watch? Very cool. The Teaked dial. Oh, teak. Lovely. Yes, I love teak. Not just because I'm a carpenter, but it's because it's trying to sort of make you think about teak decks on beautiful boats, fantastic yachts. Maybe someone who's got the ability to buy a fancy, beautiful yacht. They're likely to be wearing what originally is where the teaked dial effect came in. That was a Omega Aquaterra. That's more of a out of water sort of watch, and it can get wet. Obviously, the watch that we're looking at today, that has 100 meters water resistance. It's a kind of watch you could wear splashing about or lounging on your yacht. If you get it wet, it's not too much of a problem. It's more of a fun summer's day, I'm chilling by the sea kind of watch. And for those of us who haven't got the ability to buy one of these multi-million-pound beauties that float about with a bevy of women on our decks, what we can enjoy is maybe a bit of pedaloing with the family in Spain or Greece, which I very much miss because I do love a pedalo. There's nothing wrong with pedalos. I've actually had many fabulous times in one in Spain and in Greece, so we shouldn't mock. Most of us, the most exquisite form of boating we'll ever experience is probably a pedalo, so don't take the mickey. That's probably where this watch fits in. You've got yourself a beautiful watch for about £150. It's got all those lovely details. It's nice at this price point not to just get an homage watch, because you can obviously get homages to the Aquaterra from Felida and Corju, and they've got that teaked dial. Oh, just love teak. Just love it. I think it's interesting and fun to get something that's an actual Japanese made watch with an actual Japanese movement. Yes, it's got terrible other spec features like mineral glass and the worst jingle jangly. I'll just get it again. Listen to this. I'm saving this as a prop for Christmas for when Rudolph's coming. Thing is, it's very comfortable. It's very well made. It's just very cheap. It's weird. It's like they can make something cheap but really well made. There's no play in the end links, even though they're hollow. The clasp is really comfortable, even though it feels like it shouldn't be. It's weird. It's a weird one, but it's a good thing you can easily change out. You know, I sell bazillions of straps. Do check out my store. I'm here. Please buy from me. Change a strap easily. If you don't like the metal one, which is actually really comfortable, and I do really like it, even though it's a really poor spec, it's actually really well made. You can live with it. There's loads of things I like about this watch. It's very clever. It's for people that want to buy into a brand and not just get an homage watch. I want to get something with a really good international warranty, something brand new, something they can get hold of really quick. I've got it in 2 days. Something that is going to be really reliable, have Really good quality control. Obviously, there's no issues with this watch. Something with a mesmerizing dial. Oh, I love a blue dial. Don't have to get it just with the blue. There are other variations available. And I like the fact that you can get something that is retro, that isn't a Timex, because they've flogged that horse a lot. It's probably wearing out, that horse. It's probably dead. It's nice that Citizen have done it, because normally they're a bit bland and a bit boring. You know, oh, I wear a Citizen. I don't really have any imagination. I don't know what to buy or wear. But no, you can. There are fun and interesting Citizens you can get. And it's nice to talk about an affordable watch. Although spec is a bit squiffy here and there, the movement is was older than I am in terms of its origins. It's from the 70s. I'm from the 80s. This movement is ancient, but in a way that is actually fitting with this watch. It's a retro watch with a retro movement. Yes, it doesn't have hacking, but it does have hand winding. Yes, the crown doesn't screw down, but it doesn't need to because it's 100 meters water rated. It's a yachting watch. It's not a diving watch. It doesn't have loom because you don't need loom on a beautiful sunny day on lounging on your pedalo. You see what I mean? It ticks the right boxes. So as a retro watch, it is a huge success, but it has its flaws. The bracelet is cheap and nasty. I would like sapphire because I know that they can throw it in a 50 quid watch. Why don't they do it on this one? But it's acceptable because the details in this dial are stunning. Not just the Teaked, but that beautiful blue, the lovely mixture of the different size indices, lovely big crown, easy for that lovely smooth hand winding. Back to those indices again. Brushed finish and polished, real nice contrast. It's a really well balanced watch in design and weight and comfort. It looks great. It's an everyday summery kind of watch. To end this little adventure we've been on with this piece, I would say I'd thoroughly recommend it because for the money, it's something that's a bit different and it's an interesting little twist from Citizen. I'm so glad they've released it. It's a new release. If you don't fancy this slightly more, we call it a yachting watch, that's my opinion, but they do something which actually pays a strong homage, if you will, to watches of the similar era, 60s and 70s. The Hamilton W10, for example, there's another sort of dial variation with different colours as well, available from Citizen. It's a kind of a pilot style watch, so bit of fun there, bit of interest. So you can either go flying high or you can go bobbing along the sea. So it's up to you what mood you want to be in, and you can have a Japanese brand on your wrist. You can't get these kind of watches as readily from Seiko anymore. They're kind of in a different league now, so it's nice to get Citizen on the channel. I've got a few more to come, I think, because I think they're all really good value for money, as do Orient watches. So if you haven't checked any of my Orient reviews out, take a look. So there you have it. It's been a fun little review. I hope you like my new style. I'm trying to sort of make it a little bit more of a flow to it, a bit more fun, a bit more engaging. And I just hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have enjoyed it, hit the old thumbs up. Or is it that way around? And drop a comment. I'd love to hear your opinion. Well, I hear it. I can't hear written words. Read your opinion. So see you in the next video. It's been a pleasure. Bye for now.